Bears Country Podcast. Welcome to Bears Country Podcast Preliminary Stadium Release Edition. There's been some images that have come out there that kind of show what we're going to be doing, or the Bears are going to be doing. I say we because I'm a fanatic and I think I'm part of the team, but I'm not. So, in the sake of that, we'll just say the Bears have released some kind of preliminary visions of what the future site could look like, and I find it really quite interesting. So let's get into it. Nomad, how you doing tonight, my friend?
I just want to plead to the public for help because Mr. Shorty is holding me hostage with a gun to me and making me do this video, you guys. I need help. I need your support. Give me some information in the comments. Do something. Help me out. Mr. Shorty is being an awful person right now.
Nomad, just keep talking. Just keep talking. I want to know your thoughts about this stadium. Keep talking, Nomad.
You really want me to?
No, I do. I'd like to know, first off, before we kind of get into the images, this is going to be short and sweet. Before we kind of get into the images and what our thoughts are, what do you want to open with before we show the images? What are your thoughts on that? Anything?
Just you go ahead and do your images. We'll get into it after you do your thing.
Okay, cool. So we all know the talk of what's going on. We don't know whether or not they're buying the land. Everything's kind of up in the air. But the process that has gone on from the time that they won the bid from the Arlington Park land is that they have a certain period of time before they close on the deal. And the talks are that they're closing in the spring of 2023, which would be somewhere around March-ish. So we know. So the time frame that they have taken from that period of winning the bid until when they close on this land is to try to figure out what it's going to take to do what. And I've talked about this before. I'm sure you all know, if you've been watching Bears Country Podcast, that there's a lot of different ways we can do this stadium. Or again, the Bears can do the stadium and all the land around it. They can put in casinos, hotels, they can put in all sorts of stuff. And it makes a very interesting conversation to what could happen in that vast stretch of land that exceeds even where the stadium would be built. And so let's kind of take a look at some of these preliminary plans of what has come out today. I'm sorry, I don't have Kitty producing this because we're just doing this on the fly. So you're going to see me kind of looking at stuff, and I'm not controlling this, or Kitty's not controlling this. I'm controlling this whole thing, so apologies. So here's the first image that we have. So you can see 53 there circling around. It looks like they clearly want to have the stadium right next to Route 53 so that it just, wow, you get the eyes come onto the stadium and everyone just goes, oh. I even do that driving up here when I pass through Nashville and I see Nashville Stadium. I go, oh, that's so beautiful. So that's like one of the first things that I noticed about where they want to place the stadium. And what do you think about that, Nomad?
Man, all I see is a big country-ass Conway Twitty hat or something. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's like it's just the image of where the stadium will be. They're not making the stadium look like what the stadium would look like. It's just where it will be in relation to these roads that are around that stadium and that piece of property.
Okay, if you say so.
But do you think, I mean, see, you can tell I dragged him out here to do this. The positioning of the stadium, I think this is a better view here. Actually, no, this makes it more look like Pennsylvania Avenue. So if you go back to the previous image, you can see where they have the front of the stadium will look down this alleyway to the right with 53 behind it. And the next view would be from that alleyway when you're in the front of the stadium looking down on all of this. So that's kind of, it just reminds me of Pennsylvania Avenue. And I think that you kind of could agree on that, right, Nomad?
It does look like an inauguration is about to happen or something. It looks like. Yeah, it is. It's eerie similar to Pennsylvania Avenue. And yeah, it's weird, man. I don't know, because we're looking at this aerial view of it, it doesn't really give you a context to kind of what is on the ground. It's just an aerial view looking over the top of a bunch of shit. And I don't know.
It's like that's the view from the top of the stadium looking down onto it if you're in the stadium kind of a thing. And it almost be like fitting if they put a giant statue at the end of that where it ends with a big Bears C on it. That would be awesome.
It's got to be a Walter Payton.
Yeah, with a Walter Payton statue in front of it. How about that? Gotta be. Somebody needs.
Wouldn't be right if they didn't do that.
Maybe we should contact Bears marketing about that, because that should be, with this view, that's what everyone is thinking of, I'm sure, when they look at this. I'm sure a lot of fans looking at these images have seen this, so and probably thought the same thing. So that would be pretty cool if they did that. I'm sure they won't, but it would be pretty damn cool.
What about the let's just say the walkway going down, like the main path going down into the very front entrance of the stadium? Mm-hmm. What if we lined up statues of all our greats? Oh,
all the way down the center of that? Oh.
It's like a hall of greatness. You just got to walk past.
Mm-hmm. The first one, well, the last one would probably be George Halas, right? They can take the stadium, the statue of George Halas that they currently have at the Bears Stadium, and move it over to right before you enter the stadium. And then the next would be like, you probably would have to go in what I would think chronological order of jersey retirements, right? And then you end up.
My language, but that motherfucker ain't play no football. We don't need him out there.
Who? George Halas?
Did he play football?
Hell yeah, he did. He played with the team when they first started.
Shows you how much I know.
Shit, man. I don't mean to call you out on that, but yeah. What the fuck, Nomad? You don't know that?
Yeah, listen, man.
Man, you didn't grow up in California or some shit?
I don't know Bears history like most people. I don't know that much about Bears history, man. I don't know who those motherfuckers are. Leather helmet wearing motherfuckers.
Leather helmet wearing motherfuckers. Oh man, George Halas was a player coach, and then became coach, and then the rest is history. And it would be fitting if he was the first one in the statue order. But it'd be kind of cool if they did it in the order of retirement, right? Like you go to like him, Nagurski, next. He gets down to Walter Payton, and then finally with, I think, I'm not sure, but Walter Payton, I'm trying to think of the last number that was retired by Walter Payton, and I can't think of it. I know that Singletary wasn't retired, but it was like just a hidden law that you just don't wear number 50, for a while. And then finally we saw, I think Shea McClellan was the first Bears to wear number 50 when they moved him to a linebacker position. Not Shea McClellan. Shea McClellan. And then he took number 50 before he ended up leaving the Bears and going on to do nothing else. So kind of strangely fitting that when they finally gave up the number for somebody else to wear, quote unquote, unretired, like the number wasn't retired, that it would be somebody that, people that can remember the name are just like, what the hell is he wearing that number for? So, but I can't remember the last one retired after Peyton. And anyone that thinks that if there is one and they can come up with it, put it in the comments section and let us know that we're wrong. There might have been another one. Actually, no, I think it was Ditka. That's where I'm getting wrong. Ditka, they finally retired his number just a few years ago. So you can put him in that chronological order of statues.
See how quickly you just spiraled into that history rant? And
yeah.
That's why I'm glad we're getting the fuck out of that stadium, because too many of our fans are just so enamored with history and they lose sight of the current.
Right.
And what we could be doing going forward. We need to make some new memories, man. Mm-hmm. I am so tired of that history. I'm not tired of it, but it has its place, and we should keep it in it. You know, well, we don't live in the past.
You're tired of it because, oh my goodness, look at this guy. He makes my cousin Simon. I don't even know. It's like bruschetta and tomatoes and prosciutto, tomatoes, and deep fried and breaded pumpkin flowers. Those are the pumpkin. Oh my God, are those delicious, dude? Thank you.
Man,
we're live right here.
Y'all over there on some fat boy shit,
dude. I'm eating all this Chicago food. I'm going to be 215 pounds before I leave here. Thank you, brother. My Italian brother over here just chopping it up for me when I'm staying in his house doing podcast. What a guy. But the history, it's just something that I've always just studied that, being a longtime Bears fan from 10 years old on. And these kind of things have always just, I think about these things when it comes to things like this, and so let's take a look at the third image, because I think this is the best one. So you get to see how this piece of land is laid out. And I have talked about before how I thought the stadium actually should be, what the axis of the stadium should be, because you get that the Bears currently are facing north and south from front to back on the stadium as far as the oblong of the oval goes. And I thought, well, if they're going to build a brand new stadium over here, why not take advantage of the fact that you want to use the sunset's access, because we all know what it's like to see those games where you see that shadow on the field. You know that the sun is getting right into the players' eyes, especially the receivers when they're trying to catch a deep ball. And this is kind of interesting how they have chose to rearrange the stadium's access, kind of going to northwest and southeast. And I think that could, in turn, end up helping the players when they're catching balls and with the sun in their eyes. So I'm just curious to know, what you think about this layout here, Nomad.
I hadn't given much thought into it. I think there's going to be a dome stadium, and it ain't going to make a damn difference, to be honest with you. One thing I would be more interested in is, are they having the training facilities there? Because guys get tired of the travel back and forth to, you ain't going to want to be at. It's just doesn't make sense to do all that shit at Hallis Hall. And then, because guys want to, it would be nice. I know if I was a player, it'd be nice to be able to live in an area near that place and have easy access to everything I need, whether it comes down to OTAs, training camp, the game, just jump out, get in the car, and I'm right down the street and I'm there. So all that shit over at Hallis Hall, I just think it's a little too much. And I hope they're doing something to facilitate everything in there.
It's right there. See the red dot, Nomad? Arlington or Metro Arlington Park Station. That's the railroad that goes right to it. Beautiful. Well, beautiful.
The players can't get on that motherfucker.
No. But are they going to have are they going to have a separate line for the players so that they're not abused by everyone trying to get their autographs and shit on the train? But
all those guys should have places up in that area, and it should be easy access to everything. Mm-hmm. Easy access. There's no reason why it shouldn't be.
Well,
You know,
53 is
the fans will get there. The fans will get there. That won't be a problem. You know, people will get used to however the transportation system works. I'm more concerned about the players getting to and fro safely.
And it looks like the way that they've put this, according to 53, it should be easy enough for them to at least get off there and get to the stadium. You can see the roundabouts in the bottom left corner where that's where you're going to be getting off 53, coming down, getting into the stadium. I mean, it should be easy enough. Of course, the team's not, any player on the team's not going to take the train, but the train does go right down there to the Arlington Park Station. So that is, I've always taken the train to the Bears game. And I get off in Chicago and I walk the entire distance down to Michigan Avenue, and then I walk all the way from there to the Bears game. And I just think that this is a pretty good proposal, in my opinion, for how they're going to do things. And you can see the little mini Vegas area going off to the left, you know, hotels, casinos, places to eat, you know, like food staples of Chicago. I mean, shit, Uno's might just come in there and build another one of their pizza joints and then bring in some of their pans that they use from the original one that will make it just as good. So that it's like a franchise, but it's almost like a Douay, which is right around the corner from them currently. But things like that, there's so much that can be done in this lower left or lower right section of the land with all of the mixed use district stuff that they have there. Crickets? Anything?
Well,
Nothing?
To be honest, man, it's what I would say to this whole proposal is that Arlington may have to change their city ordinance laws or whatever they need to do within their city council to facilitate this, because it's gonna need, for that to be a fully functioning entity, it's gonna need to operate 24 hours out of the day.
Right.
And so it's not going to be one of those things, okay, the bar's closed at 2:00, you got to go.
Right.
Or whatever's going on. I don't know what they have planned. Everything needs to continue to go on, especially if there's going to be casinos and things like that in there.
Right. That could go on for hours, right? Into the waning hours of the morning. Yeah. So it's just interesting to see their preliminary kind of screenshot of what their proposal might be. It could change, but this is just the first one that they're releasing to the public that we're now able to actually get some context from. So I just find that interesting, and I hope that you do. I know that I had to like put you in an arm lock to get you to do this. So I appreciate you doing it with me, Nomad.
Yeah, it sucked. It sucked. Now, I'm not interested in this shit at all. I just wish it was already done and we'd have access to it. I don't want to talk about it.
So let's just be done with that. The Chicago Bears have released their preliminary plans for the stadium placement and the surrounding events that could be happening around there. And we all appreciate you watching this as we kind of put it out there just for you to get an idea of, and just some of more of my perspective and how I twisted Nomad's arm to get to this point. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you like this content, I hope that you would please like, subscribe, and set your notifications. And until next time, Bears! Oh, I just ended the broadcast wrong. I didn't hit the button. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, Bears!